Hello again. I am making another video, but this time instead of resin, I am using this product called Resin Crete from JDiction. It is a water-based eco resin. I know in Europe and things like that, there's this product called Jesmonite that's kind of a little difficult to get over here. I think it's similar to Jesmonite. I've never used Jesmonite, but it's a 30-minute demold. So it's pretty great. It doesn't take 24 hours like a lot of resins do. There's really good directions on the back of this bag. Mix ratios, how to add pigments, the steps on how to mix it. So the ratio is 100 grams of powder to 30 to 35 grams of water. And that's clearly explained there. So there is a little bit of math. So you do have to weigh it on a scale. You have to do a slight amount of math. But this is the silicone mold that I'm using. It's a really cute plant pot mold. It has a woman with her head in her hands. I thought it was super cute. It's not that expensive. I can link that in the description below. And it's a really nice mold, actually. You can use this for resin, the eco resins, or regular resin, or even plaster. And you can use these silicone molds for a lot. So, it's a little plant pot mold, so you can put like a little cute plant in there. It's not a huge hole for the plant, so you may want, just put a tiny little plant in there. Or maybe one of those fake plants if you kill plants a lot, you can do that. But I just thought it was a very cute piece. So I'm going to measure out my eco resin and kind of guesstimate how much I need for this mold. I've never used this mold before. So I think I ended up using about 200 grams of the powder, which means I put in 60 grams of water. That ended up not being quite enough, and so I put another 75 grams of powder in at the end and mixed up a little bit more just to top it off because I didn't put quite enough. So this mold takes about 275, 280 grams of powder, and then you can figure out the math for the water because I think I did, let's see, how much did I do? 7, I think maybe like 75 grams of water. Anyway, we can do math later. Anyway, this stuff stirs up really well. It's kind of lumpy at first, but after you just keep stirring, it really goes well. You don't have to stir this as slow as resin. This is totally not resin. It is water-based, so you can see I'm not wearing gloves. However, I do recommend that you still wear your protective equipment just in case. I have never worn gloves using this Resin Crete, but it's probably a good idea if you do. Do as I say, not as I do. So just mixing it up really well. This is a sped up video, so I'm not really mixing it this fast, but it really becomes really smooth and nice. You don't have to worry about bubbles because it's super thin. You can see here in a minute that it's just a super thin consistency, so the bubbles really do end up coming out. And I'm just making sure I'm getting all the powder out from this cup. But yeah, look how thin that is. Super thin. And it's mixed up beautifully. And now I'm just pouring some in this mold. And yeah, you can see how super thin it is. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, this is never going to cure in 30 minutes. What is it? What's going on? But it really does. I promise you, it really cures in 30 minutes. I don't recommend, if it's a difficult thing to get out of a mold, I don't recommend unmolding it in 30 minutes because it's still a little fragile. Give it a little bit more time. So this is me mixing up some more because I realized I needed just a little bit more to top it off. So I just quickly mixed up some more. Another thing on this Resin Crete is it doesn't have a very long working time. So as you can see when I poured it, the stuff that I just put down was starting to already do a little bit of hardening. So I let this sit for a full day. I didn't have to do this, but it's kind of better just to wait just because I've broken so many things because I was too excited. And then look, a little bit of silicone got stuck in there because I should have checked this mold before I started putting stuff in it. You should inspect your molds before you put anything in them, because if I would have inspected it, rinsed it out, or just looked at it, then this wouldn't have happened. That little spot on her cheek. So yeah, do this before you put stuff in it, not after. But it looks so cute. And I can just get that out of there, and we could probably fix it. And that's a good little hole for something small. You know, there are some bubbles in her hand there. I think that's just because the bubbles didn't have anywhere to escape. I could have done some more tapping, and that probably would have helped. But with this eco resin, you can sand it. You can sand it down. This does need a top coat. So unlike resin, it's not done when it comes out of the mold. You have to seal it with something. There are special sealers for eco resins that you could purchase. There's also, I just use a spray sealant that you can get from the store. It's just a regular spray sealant. So I took that little piece of silicone out because I don't think it's horrible. I mean, I can paint it and sand it a little bit and make it not as noticeable. Maybe I could spray paint this piece black or a different color and it would be fine. And then I would just spray some sealant on it. And then I would be done. And I think it looks super cute. And look how excited I am. Oh my God. And here it is, the final product. Now this is just spray painted with black spray paint. You can use any type of paint. You can even paint it with acrylic paint and brushes if you really want to. And then I did seal it with a spray paint sealer. Any would work. This was just a polyurethane spray paint that I had from doing other projects. And I wanted it kind of a little glossy, so, and you can't really see that little spot where the silicone got stuck. Not too bad anyway. And I put a little aloe baby in there, and hopefully it'll give her a nice head of hair eventually. Thank you for watching.